Dr. Reese, tell us about yourself as it relates to career and college preparation.
I'm fortunate enough to be from a very small town in rural Georgia. I'm actually from Fort Valley. There's only a Bluebird company that produces school buses and a college that happens to be an HBCU. I chose to come to college in Atlanta at Georgia State University because of the diversity and the fact that it was in the middle of metropolitan Atlanta. And so I'm privileged to be here in this area and not having to move away because I'm so mesmerized by all of the progression and the people moving forward and trying to do big things in this area. I knew I would be an educator from first grade. I had an awesome teacher who happened to be one of the most influential persons in my life. And because of her, I wanted to replicate the love that she showed us in first grade to all of the students that I serve now. While I didn't study education in college at Georgia State, I studied sociology instead. It's important to note that I knew that I would always end up back to a classroom. And so at 20 years old, about to turn 21, I walked into my first fifth grade classroom, served in the elementary school, and then to a K-8 school, and then to high school as a history teacher. And so now that I'm an administrator, I'm more than privileged to be here, but at the end of the day, I know that it was all of the professors that I had in college and all of the decisions that I made prior to going to college that are helping me reap a great harvest now.
Dr. Reese, what advice would you give to students who are looking to attend college?
If you're looking for a college, I want you to first silence the voices that are around you. Everyone has an opinion about where you should go and what you should do to progress your career and your next opportunity through college. Make the best decision that works for you. And I mean, consider every facet of decision making. You might want to think about what type of weather and climate you're willing to go to every day. You want to think about the programs and majors that they have. Do they have the reputation of producing the kind of doctor or lawyer or teacher that you wish to be? And then most importantly, does the campus make you happy? I don't recommend going to a college that you haven't visited, but there are times where you're limited with your ability to go where places are, depending on the distance and your ability to get there. But if you feel like home, even looking at the pictures, I think it's a good decision. And there might be obstacles in play that try to stop you from making that decision because they say you need to get a school in Georgia where you can retrieve financial aid, or you might only want to get the school that gives you the most money. But I always say, wherever you go, make sure it feels like home. That's the best piece of advice I can give.
Tell us a little about yourself as it relates to career and college preparation.
Okay, well, I am Dr. Nottingham, and I guess as it relates to career and
College preparation.
college prep. So I basically spent my college years trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I did a lot of internships. My major, even though I majored in biology, because I did dual enrollment, I took a lot of courses that were unrelated to my major to help me figure out what I wanted to do after college, I guess.
What is your most significant college experience or memory?
My most significant experience, that involves the people that I was around in college. Because in college, it's important to have a balance. So I had those people that would stay up all night. We could have a study session and then turn around and we partied like college students did. You have to be able to balance that in order to be successful. And a lot of people can't do that.
What advice would you give to students who are looking to attend college?
Those of you that are looking to attend college, I would say again, it is important to stress balance. That party school looks fun, that you would have a lot of fun, but if you graduate and your GPA is so low that your degree means nothing, it's not worth it. Like, go to a college that you can have fun with because you want to have fun in college, but also go somewhere where you can develop professionally. You can surround yourself with people that can help you develop professionally continually after you graduate. So my college friends, I can still reach out to them now and ask them for advice, or if I needed a job, I can reach out to them and ask them if they know someone that can link me up. So that college part of your life is probably the most important.
Mr. Perry, tell us a little about yourself as it relates to career and college preparation.
Well, when I went to college, I had aspirations to be a police officer. So my first major was criminal justice. Had the opportunity to work for sheriff department for some years, didn't like it. It was not what I thought it was going to be. So I had the opportunity to switch careers, and I did. Had a really good friend who was coaching middle school football, needed some help. Went out there and helped him and realized how much I enjoyed being around youth. So I had to go back to school, finish up my degree, and I changed my major to recreation. So still not even education at that point. But later I found out that if I wanted to continue to coach, I was gonna have to go into the education field. So went back to school, took some more classes, and I got my certification in education.
Mr. Perry, why did you choose the college you attended?
I think I chose the college I attended was North Carolina Central University. It's really a long story. I'm gonna try to be as short as possible, but I played football at another school, lost my scholarship, got put out, and I was living in Durham, North Carolina at the time, and I needed to go back to school. Like I said earlier, I wanted to go into another field. And that was the school that was nearby. It was an HBCU, like what I was accustomed to, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. When I went back, I really found what it meant to be at a HBCU, that family-like feel. People generally care about who you are. The classes were small enough to where I could ask questions, but it's also big enough because it's also a D1 school. But when you only got 35, 40 kids in the class, you can ask questions, and that was real big to me. It was probably the best decision I had made for me in my life.
Mr. Perry, do you have any financial advice for students that you should consider?
Yes. When you guys go to college and you see those tables with these people giving you free t-shirts, free water bottles, free whatever for a credit card, don't do it. Don't do it. If you can stay away from credit cards while you're in college, don't do it. If you're going to get a credit card, wait till you're working into your field or you're working a full-time job where you can have that money to pay that off each month. Don't just pay a little bit off. It's not free money. They will be coming for you. Your credit will take a hit if you don't. I'm not telling you something I heard about either. I had to learn the hard way. Stay away from them credit cards. That's all I got.
Hey, Coach Rob. Tell us a little about yourself as it relates to career and college preparation.
Well, I guess I can take this off. Well, my name is Coach Roberts, and I've been here at Luella. This is 14 years at Luella High School. And as it relates to my college and career prep, well, I have, as it relates to school here, I have 3 degrees. I have a Bachelor of Arts in History and Political Science from Old Dominion University. I have a Master's of Education and a Specialist in Education from Georgia Southern University.
Okay. Why did you choose the college you attended?
I chose Old Dominion University because I was on active duty in the United States Navy, and it was closest. I knew nothing about the school. I knew that I wanted to go to school and I wanted to sit in the classroom. I didn't want to do anything online. So it started out, I started out at a community college, and I shifted over to Old Dominion University, and it was the greatest decision I made. It was awesome.
So since you teach economics, do you have any financial advice students should consider?
Yes. Absolutely. And if you're in my classroom, I have it written on my board of ways to pay for college. First and foremost, we don't know if an athletic scholarship is going to come, right? We don't know if that's going to happen because it's a very tight business. However, for academic scholarships, it all comes down to your grade point average and it comes down to your test scores. But even with that, there's still money out there for college. If you go to fastweb.com or CAPEX, CAPPEX.com. It's a clearinghouse for both scholarships and grants. You sign up, you create a profile, they email you stuff they email you, take a look at this, is this something you want, you apply for it, okay? The other aspect is check out the school that you want to go to. I recommend you pick 5 schools, one your dream school and one a safety school that you could get into right now. I would look on their financial aid website and see what kind of scholarships and grants they offer. Obviously fill out your FAFSA, your federal student aid application, so that you can qualify for a Pell Grant. And last but not least, look at the US military, because they have money for both active duty, reserve, and the Guard that they can either help pay for, or in some cases, completely pay for your degree, and you get experience while you're earning your college degree.
Thank you.
All right, tell us a little about yourself as it relates to career and college preparation.
So as it relates to career and college preparation, I was very much unprepared when it came to college and career. I didn't know what I wanted to do after high school, and many of my friends were talking about college, so I said, maybe I'll try college. So I decided to research a few colleges and decided to choose Georgia State. And in preparing for Georgia State, I looked at the cost, because that was very important to me to figure out how much it would cost, because my mom didn't have a lot of money. So it was very economical. So I decided to prepare to go to Georgia State and decided that I could financially afford to attend Georgia State. So that was why I chose to prepare to go to Georgia State. And Georgia State became my #1 choice for college.
All right, so along those lines, do you have any financial advice that students should consider?
So make sure that you apply for all scholarships, regardless of how much it costs. $500, the $50, the $100, because you can add those up to go towards your tuition. Because a lot of times kids say, oh, it's only $500, it's only $100. But if you get a couple of those and you add them together, then you can pay for your housing, you can pay for your meal plan. So those scholarships go a long way. So don't be afraid because of the amount of money it costs. Just go ahead and put it together, because you can add it up and then it can go towards something big. So don't feel afraid because of it's just a little bit of money. Just apply for all the scholarships that you can. Don't just wait for those big scholarships. Apply for those small ones as well.
All right, and so why did you choose the college you attended?
Again, like I said, I was not really sure where I wanted to go. I know I wanted to stay in Georgia because it was my first time leaving home. I didn't want to go too far. I wanted to be somewhere that I could get home if I needed to. And Atlanta wasn't too far from where I'm from in South Georgia, so I could drive home in 3 hours. So that was a good fit for me. I could be close to home and yet far enough away to not be home. So Georgia State was a good fit for me. It was allowing me to be in a big city, or what I thought was a big city from where I'm used to, and it allowed me to have some freedom. So that was why I chose Georgia State.
All right. Good. So,
Dr. Morrow, tell us a little bit about yourself as it relates to career and college preparation.
I received a bachelor's degree in business management from Albany State University. I received a master's in management and human resources from Troy University and a doctoral degree from Walden University in business administration. I chose these degrees because, I started out as a computer science major. Took 2 years of coursework, realized this is not for me at all. And then I ran into a professor, Dr. Campbell, Gwen Campbell, and she literally changed my whole life and made me change my major. So I finished in business management, and it was probably the greatest major that I can go in, because despite being a teacher, I can work anywhere because my degree is in business, and it's such a broad field, you can go any direction with that.
Okay. Dr. Morrow, please tell us why you chose the college you attended.
I chose Albany State, one, because I had a full ride athletic scholarship to play basketball. So I played basketball all 4 years of college. I'm from Tuskegee, Alabama, and everybody just knew I was gonna go to Tuskegee. I was recruited for 2 other schools, including Southern. So it was between Southern, Alabama A&M, Tuskegee, and Albany State. But me, I wanted to get away from home. And plus, Tuskegee was only gonna give me a partial scholarship because at the time my parents both worked there. But Albany State gave me a full ride, and literally the greatest decision of my life.
Okay. Dr. Morrow, do you have any financial advice students should consider?
Oh, so I tell my kids this all the time. Do not take out student loans if you don't have to. That is the biggest thing. Student loans, how can I say it? It's an addiction. And at such a young age, you don't understand what that money does long term. It's an addiction. Think about it. You're 19 years old and you're getting a college refund for $10,000. You're just balling out of control. But what you don't see is when you're 30, you got to pay that $10,000 back plus interest. I mean, it's unreal. It's an addiction. Do not take out student loans if you don't have to. And there's so much aid, grants out there, available scholarship money. It's so much free money out there that you can go to college, and it's no excuse for you to have to take out a student loan.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Ms. Bowen.
Hi.
Tell us a little about yourself as it relates to career and college preparation.
Okay, well, I went to Booker T. Washington High School in Atlanta, Georgia. It's an inner city school, and it was big on Black history and college awareness. I was in Star Academy, which is a program for advanced students, where like in the 9th grade, I was taking 10th grade classes, 11th grade, I was in my senior year, by the 11th grade. During my 12th grade year, I actually did an internship for the first half of the day, and then I was done, because I was done with all my classes by 12th grade. So I actually, during my internship, I had a little battle on what I wanted to do, whether it was education or I didn't know what I wanted to do, nursing. So that's when the battle started. I went to Savannah State University right out of high school, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do and everything, so I ended up leaving Savannah State my second year. But then a couple years later, I ended up going to Mercer. Mercer is a private school, but it's for non-traditional students, because by then I had a child. So I ended up going to Mercer, which is a private school. It's a very good school for psychology and nursing, stuff like that. I finished my bachelor's there. I actually got an associate's at Georgia State, but I finished my bachelor's at Mercer in psychology, and now I go to Walden University, which is also a non-traditional college, private college for school counseling.
What advice would you give to students who are looking to attend college?
I would tell them to make sure you do your research, know exactly what you want to do and what programs those colleges offer, because that's really important, because you have to have a plan and a plan to get to where you're trying to go.
What is your most significant college experience or memory?
My most significant experience is the Greek organizations that are associated with colleges. So my experience with that is I've volunteered a lot with different schools, different communities, because of these organizations that these colleges offer, and that's been my biggest involvement, is just being involved in the community with these organizations that colleges offer. I'm actually a member of the National Honor Society for Leadership and Success, where we do a lot of things in leadership roles.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, Ms. Kaywood. Tell us a little about yourself as it relates to career and college preparation.
Well, when I was in high school, I really had no clue what college I wanted to go to or what colleges were out there. I knew that I was going to go to college because it pretty much was an expectation. I went to Tucker High School in DeKalb County, and about 98% of the students at Tucker went on to college. So, my friends were picking places and, moving out of state, some of them. There was no Hope Scholarship. But I looked at 3 different colleges. To be honest, I was kind of scared about the whole leaving home thing, even though I was also excited about it. So, my grades, I kept my grades. My grades were very good, and so I was able to get into Emory University. And frankly, part of the reason I chose that was financial, because it's a Methodist institution and my father's a Methodist minister. So I got a 45% off tuition, which was a big, big discount. So, if you have a connection to a school that you can use, I would highly encourage that, as long as it's someplace that you want to go.
All right. Ms. Kaywood, what was your most significant college experience or memory?
Well, the thing I liked about college is, it was I mean, it was still a little bit like high school in a way, and let me explain that. I mean, you were among your friends, going to classes, but you were also outside of your parents', control. Your grades were your own. Your parents really couldn't see your grades unless you showed it to them because you were over 18. Now, I had okay grades at Emory, but the thing I really liked about it is that here I was at a university where people were like me. They had things that we had in common. We had similar interests. And so in high school, you go to high school and you live a place that your parents decided to live. And so the friends that you meet, and I had a ton of friends in high school, the friends that you meet, you're really there by geography. But when you go to college, you're there because you're like-minded individuals, and so you share some of the same interests. And make sure you go to college for you, and you pick the college that is for you. Don't go to a college because you're, especially like a boyfriend or girlfriend, if they're going there, don't choose that. Don't let that be the only reason. Or friends or parents, you need to choose the school that's right for you.
All right, Ms. Kaywood, what advice would you give students who are looking to attend college?
I would apply to as many colleges as I could. I would look at, different things about a college. For example, like for example, Emory didn't have a football team, and it actually has one of its kind of rules when we got money from Coca-Cola was that we would not have a football team. So if having a football team and going to Saturday games is really, really, really important to you, then you need to find a school that has that. But you might also want to look at schools, that have, like if your parents were in a sorority or fraternity, maybe you want to join a school that has that. If they've got the sport that you want to play. So choose academics, obviously, first, but then look at some of the extracurricular activities and also look at where could it lead you after that? Because if you're someone, for example, that is interested in being a doctor, Emory's a great place to go. Now, that wasn't me, and that was okay. But it is a great place to go to medical school. So think about also the future, what you're going to do after high school, if you know. And if you don't know, that's okay, because you can always change your mind.
Hi, Mr. Nash.
Hi.
So tell us a little about yourself as it relates to career and college preparation.
A little bit about me as it relates to career and college preparation. I'm not from Georgia. I grew up in North Carolina. I graduated in 1981 from Asheville High School. I attended Brevard College for my undergraduate. I went there for 2 years because it was a 2-year school. Then I transferred and went to High Point University. After High Point University, I decided not to go to graduate school, and I went in the United States Army. After my father died in 2002, I decided to move back to North Carolina after living in Texas for 10 years and started teaching. And from there, I've been teaching since 2003. I was always told that I would go to college. My mother gave me 2 options, go in the Army or go to college. I went to college and then in the Army years later. I grew up in a generation where being where I was in Asheville, North Carolina, we were, as African American students then, expected to go to college. There was no question. You needed to work hard, be successful, and our parents expected us to pick a school and go.
Why did you choose the college you attended?
I chose the college that I attended because I was studying to be a minister. I have a degree in religion and in Christian education. So Brevard College was not my first choice. My choices were the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and Indiana University. My mother said Indiana University was too far away, and Chapel Hill had too many of my friends there. So I took a tour of Brevard College once and fell in love with the place. And that was the choice. Even though I had been accepted at Chapel Hill, I had two choices to go, well, actually three choices to go when I transferred from Brevard. I had been accepted at Duke, I had been accepted at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill again, and I had been accepted at High Point University. And because of my major in religion, I chose to go to High Point University.
What advice would you give to students who are looking to attend college?
Attend college.
Okay.
No, honestly, and it's not about you. It's not about you attending college. It's about you graduating from college. Apply to the colleges that have what you want to major in. Don't just apply because it's Howard. Don't just apply because it's Chapel Hill or Georgia. Apply to the schools that have what you want to major in. And make sure that you're going to be happy there. Tour the schools. If you get to tour the school, ask students there questions about the school. Don't just, oh, it looks pretty. Because with me, I did not have two parents who went to college and could help me make the decision. I made the decisions on my own. So what I would tell you is make the decision for where you want to be, and do not be afraid that if that college is not working out for you, transfer. But ultimately it's your decision where it is you want to go. And the advice that I would give is make sure your grades are where they need to be. Make sure that if the school asks for an SAT, ACT score, you get the score within the range that they ask for. If they ask you to write essays, write the essays and have someone proofread your essays before you submit them. As I said, take a tour of the school. I know that we are in COVID and we do virtual tours and things, but if you can get an actual tour of a college, go. Go so you can talk to some students and ask them questions. And ultimately, even though your parents may be helping you with school and all, it is your decision on where you're going to school. I wish my mom and dad had been in that position, but I believe that my mom is proud of me, and my dad, God rest him, I hope he is proud, because I think I made good decisions as far as education goes. And right now I'm in graduate school working on my PhD now, and the school that I'm going to was recommended to me by Dr. Reese. So it's your choice, but make sure that you are okay with the choice that you make in the school that you choose to go to.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.